Welcome to Success Starts Within, the podcast for ambitious women who are ready to elevate their success, wealth, and confidence, and who are done with getting in their own way. I'm Kirsty, a subconscious and identity coach for women, and in this podcast, we're going to dive into the beliefs, blocks, and patterns that hold you back from being the woman you want to become, so that you can step into a life that feels abundant and alive. And my promise is that you're going to leave every episode feeling seen, inspired, and equipped with the tools to take your next steps towards the woman you're meant to be. So grab yourself a coffee or a glass of wine and let's get started. Hello and welcome to the third episode of Success Starts Within. I feel like I'm getting in a bit of a flow now. I'm on episode 3. I feel a lot more comfortable behind the mic. And this is what happens when we keep pushing ourselves and we keep going and we don't allow ourselves to give up. Things start to feel easier. And this leads very nicely onto what we're going to be talking about today, which is resilience, setbacks, and stepping into the identity of the person that can get themselves back up onto their feet and keep pushing forward. So when we experience setbacks, it feels like we are the issue. We put it all on us, like we are the problem, and it's nothing to do with us at all. It's just that the system that we've created needs to be tweaked a little bit or adjusted. And I've spent so many years learning how to become more resilient and not putting any failure that I've experienced onto me, but I've started to learn to understand it. And I want to share with you something. Success teaches you very, very little. Think about it. You don't learn a lot when something has gone right, do you? But when it's gone wrong or it hasn't gone the way that you wanted to, we learn so much. And this is where it's really important as a business owner to start to feel comfortable with seeing that setback as something that you can learn from and grow from, rather than to put it on you and to dim your light, make you feel less confident and start to think that maybe you weren't cut out for being in business. So I just wanted to add a little personal story here, and I am going to add quite a lot of personal stories on this podcast because I have done a lot of self-development. I have explored a heck of a lot. I have healed beyond belief. And I want to share as much as possible with you because I want you to feel good as well. I want you to feel better about yourself. And I want you to shed all of these beliefs that are holding you back from just being the person that you want to be. So you're going to hear a lot of my personal stories. And for this one, this was all about how I have learned to continue pushing forward in my business. So I've been in business for the last year, I would say, and it's going well, but I have been trialing and erroring. Is that even a word, erroring? I have been doing lots of trial and error around things that will make me more visible. I have put myself forward for speaking events. I have stood in a room and just spoken to people about how I'm able to support them without any script, any preparation, just completely put on the spot. And I've also tried things that haven't worked. And this is the thing, when something doesn't go to plan, you feel like it's a massive knock to your confidence. And especially when you're in the early days, it can feel even more difficult and upsetting. And the thing is, I used to internalize my setbacks. So I used to say, you know what, you're not clever enough, Kirsty. Like, you can't do this. What are you doing? No one wants to listen to you. And all these thoughts would go around in my mind. Then the feelings of shame and discouragement and pressure would start to be cultivated as well. And then the next step that happens is that your nervous system starts to react. So I would sometimes just withdraw and I would massively overthink and think about how, do you know what, I'm just going to give up. And I was shut down, completely shut down. And over time, I started to explore this and I realized that these setbacks that I was experiencing, they weren't proof that I was incapable. They were just highlighting to me that the system or the strategy that I'd created wasn't quite right. But the biggest thing that it highlighted to me was that the beliefs and the patterns that I held in my subconscious needed updating. So I then learned how to separate the failure of the method from the failure of myself, and then everything changed. And everything felt a lot lighter as well, because we don't grow from things being completely smooth sailing. We learn when things start to become difficult, and when things go well, like, we don't question our approach and we don't bother refining our skills because we think we smashed it. And we definitely don't try and strengthen our resilience, which is one of the most important things we need to do as business owners. But when we do have a setback, unfortunately, our subconscious becomes really, really loud, and it will get those old stories, the old memories and examples of when things didn't work from us in the past as proof that it's not working now, and bring it to the forefront of our mind. But this isn't true, and the subconscious loves familiarity. And when you are going through an experience, all it is going to do is just create and bring back into the front of your mind these past memories, because that's what it does to cope. That's its coping mechanism. So our setbacks, they are going to expose when our beliefs don't align with our goals, where our nervous system isn't fully on board with the goals that we are trying to achieve, and when our identity is stuck in the old version of us, because it's really hard to achieve goals when you are doing it from your old, outdated identity. So when something doesn't go our way, we often think, well, I'm the problem. Do you know what? Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Or you'll say to yourself, this always happens to me. But this is actually what is happening. Your subconscious is pulling every unresolved memory linked to disappointment and uses it as evidence that the problem is you. And this intensifies your emotional response, because the current setback that you are experiencing is now tied to dozens of past setbacks. And then your nervous system will start to perceive this as a threat, and then your body will start to shift into protection mode, and then it will shut down, it will withdraw, etc., as we mentioned earlier. So it's not actually the event itself that's making you spiral and that's making you feel upset, angry, cross-frustrated. It's actually the internal system that is making that happen, because it's trying to keep you safe. And the good news, the system can be rewired. We can completely stop thinking that we're not good enough, and we can start thinking and believing from deep down into every cell of our body that we're capable, that we can trust ourselves, and the goals that we are trying to achieve are absolutely possible for us. Because this is just data. It's not your identity. And this is something in your system that needs updating, and we are able to do that. Now, the impact of letting setbacks stop you is incredible, because when you allow the setbacks to shut you down, your subconscious learns that risk equals danger. And then your identity becomes rooted in avoidance. And you'll start to play small, your confidence will get smaller and smaller. And the impact of letting setbacks stop you is huge, because when you allow the setbacks to shut you down, your subconscious is just going to learn that risk equals danger. And your identity will start to be rooted in avoidance. So you're going to not put yourself out there. You're not going to do the things you know are going to push the needle forward in your business. You're going to start playing small. So maybe you won't go to this networking event. Maybe you won't put yourself forward for this speaking gig. And then all of a sudden, your goals will just continue to stay in the future as you become further and further away from the person that you need to be to achieve them. So every time you choose an inaction and you do absolutely nothing, your subconscious just hears you say, well, we don't believe we can handle the next level, so we're not going to bother. And that doesn't feel good for us, because we then have this disconnect from the person that we want to be and the goals that we are craving in our lives and what we truly believe about ourselves. Identity work is one of the most powerful things that you can ever do for yourself. And I'm going to bang on about it because I am an identity coach. But when we work on our identity and we believe that we are capable of achieving these goals, then everything changes, because we'll start taking risks. We'll just get back up again and carry on. We'll try again and again and again. We won't say no. We'll be like one of those horses with those blinky things on their faces. We'll just be pushing forward. No distractions. We are going. We are achieving. We are creating. And one day, something will stick. Honestly, you keep showing up and you keep trying, something will stick one day. And then once you have created and feel in this strong, positive identity that aligns with your goals, you're going to start saying yes to opportunities that pop up. Your energy is going to be different. So you're going to magnetize so many different people to you. You're going to show up even when it feels uncomfortable, because that is one of the biggest humps that we need to continue to go through as business owners, is just continue to show up even when we don't feel it's right. And you're going to take aligned risks, and you're just going to act from desire rather than fear. And when you keep doing that, you're going to rewire your brain, and your subconscious will receive the message that this is who you are now. You're somebody that is capable and resilient and who can pick themselves up whenever something feels like it's not going right, or when something hasn't gone right. So the nervous system has a very important part when we are teaching ourselves about resilience, because when we step into an identity, our nervous system has to catch up. And if it doesn't, and it doesn't feel safe in this new identity, you are going to unconsciously sabotage yourself. So identity shifts lead to new behaviors and new positive, risk-taking, exciting behaviors. And these new behaviors will then signal to our nervous system over time that it can tolerate this new way of being and this new way of handling risk, and that actually it's safe to grow. And so it's like a bit of a feedback loop, right? So you've got your identity shifts. So for example, you'll say to yourself, I'm resilient. Your behavior will shift and you'll start to show up more often. Your nervous system will then start to recalibrate and it will get on board. Your subconscious then updates its stories with more capable, positive, enforced ones of what you have been doing. Your confidence increases, and then you'll start to take more risks and say yes and just become a bit more fabulous. Now, that is basically, in a nutshell, how you level up your identity. Because when your nervous system feels safe, you will speak differently. Your presence will change. You will be more magnetic, and you will have a different way about you. And this inner work, it's not just psychological, it's energetic. And energetics, which is for another day, is again one of the most important things that you need to do when you are upgrading your identity. So just a few little takeaways from today's episode is failure is feedback and growth. It is not identity. It is nothing about you. And these setbacks are so essential in business and for us to grow. And they highlight the system. They don't highlight our self-worth and our capability at all. Start identifying as somebody who already has these opportunities in her life, because your magnetism will be different. Your energy will be different. And when you're able to do this, you're going to start becoming the woman that just gets back up from setbacks, brushes them off, and continues to move forward, because your subconscious and your nervous system have got on board with the person that you're becoming. And lastly, resilience is just a nervous system skill. So we can train our bodies to feel safe in risk. So when we're being visible or when we're trying to expand, because safety also creates confidence. And confidence, as we all know, creates momentum. So one practice I would like you to try every single day, or whenever something pops up, is a nervous system regulation to interrupt the shame spiral whenever it pops up. So if you've had a setback or you're experiencing something right now, whenever you get those moments of shame, disappointment, lack of confidence, self-doubt, I just want you to put your hand on your chest and take 3 slow breaths, and at the same time say to yourself, I am safe. This is data, not identity. And just do that 3, 4, 5, 6 times until you really feel your body just relaxing. Because what you're doing is that you're reframing and you're grounding into the body that setbacks are absolutely fine and it's nothing to do with you. Another little thing I'd like you to do as well is just a little morning ritual. You can do it when you're sticking your makeup on, or when you're in the car, when you're driving home from the school run, whatever. Is just say to yourself, I am the woman who gets back up. I am the woman who gets back up. Setbacks grow me, they do not define me. And just say that. You can have it on a sticky note on your desk, but just constantly remind yourself every single day that you can get back up, you can come back from setbacks, and that it's nothing to do with you. And these statements that you repeat to yourself will start to rewire your subconscious, because the subconscious loves repetition. And the more that you say it, the more you'll feel it and you will start to embody it. So instead of spiraling, next time, just ask yourself, what is one small action I can take today that aligns with the version of me who succeeds? And this is the perfect way to start training your nervous system that setback is absolutely fine. So thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to Success Starts Within. I hope you're leaving today feeling inspired, grounded, and one step closer to the woman you're becoming. And always remember, success starts within. I'll see you in the next episode.